Hey, g'day guys, it's Adam from VideoShowMeHow, and in this video we're going to run through how to remove your lower ball joint. Let's get started. You might be rebuilding a diff housing, maybe your old ball joints are just completely flogged out and they need to be replaced. The boots may be torn, there's a whole host of reasons, but safe to say before we go installing any sort of nice new shiny ball joints into any housing, we need to remove the old ones. And this video concentrates on the lower ball joint and how to remove it. So let's get stuck in. Now to do this job, you are going to need a ball joint press. You may actually need to remove the top ball joint first. You can check the channel for a guide on exactly how to do that as well. So how this works is you're going to be pressing this out in a downwards direction. And this is what a lower ball joint, a nice new one, looks like. So it's kind of sitting in the housing just like that. And if you can see underneath, there's a bit of a lip here. And that's what catches on the actual lip of the housing itself as this is pressed in. So to remove these guys, we need to reverse the process. There's a nice flat section on the top of the ball joint here. Most of them will have the same. And that's where we want to get our ball joint press with our pressing section on the bottom here to press down on this while clamping over the top. That catches it, pushes it down, and out she comes. So you want to grab your press section itself and wind it all the way out. And once it's like that, what we want to do is we want to thread our top section here through here so that it's ready to clamp and push down. So that should look something like this. Just like that. And then just rest it down the bottom so that the pushing section is going to be pushing down and through. All right, cool. So once you've got your press in place, ready to do the pressing bit, the next part is to grab your ball joint kit. And in here, we want to work out, well, what are the parts that you're going to need to put in here to catch the ball joint as it gets pressed through. Now, if we look at what the lower ball joint actually looks like we were looking at earlier, what we're essentially wanting to do, this is in the housing this way. So you can see the little lip here, and that's what's sitting up against the housing itself. You can kind of see it in there. And we need one of these fittings to sit over the top of this section here so that it's actually touching on the housing itself and not the ball joint. So that's what's going to give us the leverage to be able to push this guy out. Grab one of the new ones, put it upside down, and then when you get your pieces here, we want to see if they can fit over the top. So obviously not that one, we'll grab the next one, and there we go. So that goes right over the top. The next part is you want to make sure that this radius here will actually press against the housing itself. So we just sort of slot him up there, and we're good to go. Can you see how that's still contacting the housing? So that's going to provide a really good mating surface for the press to be able to push against when it presses down. Then we need something for this to sit onto there. So that's where one of these two bad boys comes into place. So ideally what will happen is this will be the mounting section for this. You can see they've got all the appropriate lips there so that it'll take all of these sort of different sizes. So that's the setup we want. And then you can see on the bottom of this, it's got this lip here, which is the same as that. So basically what we're wanting to do now, once we've realized this is the right one for us, we've got a little hole there because that's what this will go down through as we press it. So this little section needs to sit on top here and up over the top of the ball joint. So you might need to loosen our screw right out, set all this up, and start pressing. Okay, perfect. So once you're at this stage, we've got our press sort of hand cranked there. You can see how this is all going to work, right? So you've got this pressing down. We've got our catcher that's going to drop the ball joint into our shaft of the ball joint, I guess you could call it. Will go through the hole and come out the bottom, and it will drop into there. Before we start cranking, I'd recommend getting some penetrant of your choice, giving it a good spray just around the lip here. Every little bit helps, and particularly if your ball joints haven't been out in a gazillion kilometers or a gazillion miles, depending on what part of the world you're from. every little bit helps. So give it a good spray, let it sit for a bit while you're getting yourself ready to start cranking on the top. Right, so you're all set up and you're ready to go. The next part is to get the right size socket for the top of the tool. In this tool's case, we need a 21mm. So he just goes on top there like that. And then this part here is going to depend on what tools that you have at hand, because basically we want to really start cranking down on this now for it to push through. If you've got a rattle gun, something like this sort of Ryobi jobby here, absolutely way forwards. If not, the old school crank method is going to be the way to go. I've got this at hand, so totally going to use that. And then from here, all you're doing is you are wanting to just tighten this bolt as if you were tightening any other bolt. You really will notice that this shaft will go back against the housing, so have that against there. Make sure you're all nice and lined up, and then basically just start cranking. You'll see this start to drop through. And then there we go, we can see there's our little catcher section, there's that section, and here's our old ball joint. A bit worse for wear. You can see that that penetrant fluid definitely worked. You can see all the way around the lip there it's got down, so definitely recommend using that. But there you go, one ball joint removed. Now you can check the channel, guys, if you want to see some other videos on ball joints, particularly on how to remove an upper ball joint, how to install some new ball joints as well as more detail on the tool itself. So that's it for this one, guys. As always, I hope that you found this helpful and it helped you out in whatever project that you are using the tool for. Let me know in the comments below what car, what application were you using this for, and what new ball joints are you going to be putting it into. I'd be interested to know. Let me know in the comments below. If you did find the video helpful, give it a bit of a like down at the bottom. If you didn't, then that's okay as well. If you haven't subscribed to the channel to check out more videos just like this one, have a go at hitting the subscribe button, hit the old bell, and that gives you an update as soon as I upload any new videos, any new how-to guides for you to check out. Share the video with anyone else that might be trying to tackle a similar project and who also might find it helpful. And as always, I hope that you have an amazing day, and I will see you in the next video. Cheers, guys.